What's up guys? Today we're building an epic cinematic 3D title, guaranteed to spice up your project and add that extra touch. Now this 3D title is pretty simple, but you need to know the basics of Fusion. So if you have any questions along the way, be sure to comment down below and I can clear that right up for you. Before we get into that, let's hear from today's sponsor. Easy Effects, guaranteed to speed up your workflow. Do smooth, crisp animations straight from the edit page, add glows, shadows, we even got a glitch transition and highlights. Let's jump into Fusion. If you found this video helpful, like, comment, and subscribe. Let's go. All right, guys, now we're in our Fusion comp. I want to grab Text Plus node and a 3D text node. Let's grab a merge for our text and a render. That's all we're going to need right now. We'll link this up, put that in the second viewer and our Text Plus in the first viewer. Let's type in our words. Now you can do whatever you want to, obviously. And I'm going to use impact. Usually the blockier the font, the better. Do the same thing on our Text Plus. All right, and we'll right click in the Text Plus node and hit character level styling. That's going to open up this modifiers tab, which we'll come back to in just a second. Now we go to our text 3D. I'm going to right click in the text box and connect to character level styling styled text. Now before we get too far into this is based off a tutorial from Simon Stansfield. He passed away recently, but he was an amazing YouTuber and Fusion enthusiast. I'm gonna link his channel. Go check his video out if you have any questions about how I'm doing this. My tutorial doesn't clear it up, his will. All right, let's get back to it. So what we wanna do is animate each letter independently with character level styling. So I'm gonna go into the modifiers tab on the Text Plus. We're going to go to where we want the animation to stop. We got that animate in reverse. So I'm going to go to 45. I'm going to select the S, and that's going to bring up this here. We're going to click this little diamond here, right click here to animate character level styling. Then we're going to go to our shading tab. Now position and rotation, and you're not going to see it, but you just need to move around everything you want to animate and set it back to 0. So I'm going to set a keyframe on X, Y, and Z by moving these around and setting them back to 0. Same thing with Z offset. Also going to mess around with the X and Y position and set them back to 0. I'm going to go all the way back to the beginning. It's very important to go all the way back to the beginning because some weird stuff happens if you don't. All right, now that we're back at the beginning, we're just going to mess with our parameters. So we'll mix with the X, the Y, the Z. So strange thing here on the Text Plus, it's the opposite with offset Z. If we're going back on the Text Plus, we're actually going forward on the 3D text. Not sure what that is, but it's important to know. You're capped out at -0.5, but you can type in any integer you want. All right. Now let's move it down. Let's move it over, and let's see what our animation looks like. There we go. And you see the S just flies in on that Text Plus. I accidentally set that to 0.3. We'll make that 0. And there we go. Now, you're going to go back to the beginning. Now you're just going to select another letter. Go to our shading. Do the same thing. Everything you want to animate, you need to just adjust a little bit and set back to 0. And then again, go all the way back to the beginning. We'll move this over. We'll move it up. And you can literally do this any way you want to. Now, as you see, they all animate back on and in at the same time. All right, I'm going to fast forward and just do this for each letter, and then we'll come back and we'll get to the finishing touches to this animation here in a few. Now we're going to grab a 3D camera, plug it into our merge node. I learned this from Scape. His new channel is DaVinci Resolve. I'll link that. He has a really good tutorial about 3D cameras and 3D space, recreating an After Effects tutorial. But we're going to change the focal length to 25. Let's bring up our Merge 3D and our second viewer by hitting 1 and selecting it, or you can hit this little dot right here. We'll zoom out by holding the click wheel, and we'll just adjust our camera. All right, let's just put it in the middle, and let's play through and see what it looks like. All right, that is pretty good. So first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna turn on lights and shadow in my renderer. Now I'm gonna grab a spotlight and hook it up to my 3D merge. And we're gonna adjust this back and over just a bit. We'll rotate it at an angle. And let's go into the controls. Want to make the cone angle a bit bigger. Same thing with the penumbra angle. We're going to enable shadows. Make sure that's good. We'll turn up the density a little bit. We get some lights and shadows now as the animation plays. Let's go back to our 3D text. Go down to extrusion. First thing we're going to do is we're going to uncheck back. Push up that depth just a little bit. You can play with the bevel depth and width if you like. Then we're going to go over to the shading tab. We're going to uncheck use one material. We're going to go down to the bevel material, which is the sides, and we're actually going to change it to gray. There we go. See, now we get shadows as everything comes together. You can see the edges. I'm actually going to go back to the main text panel in the inspector, and we're going to turn up the subdivisions a bit. That just makes the edges a little bit smoother, a little bit more realistic. Problem is we have this right in front of our camera, right as we start. So the first thing we're going to do to combat that is we're going to hit spotlight and we're going to turn down the intensity. We'll keyframe that and we'll go to about frame 15 and kick it all the way back up. Also take our camera, we'll go to the beginning and we're just going to adjust that until we're no longer blocked by a letter. And then we'll come back as it finishes and we'll just zoom our camera back. Let's make sure we keyframe everything. Let's go back to the beginning. Push it right in front of that. Let's see how that looks. Looking pretty good. All right, let's merge everything over an alpha background. And then Control T, swap. All right, now let's add some color. We'll grab a second spotlight. Hook it up to our merge. Bring it back. We're gonna bring the text up. Select our spotlight so we can animate that. I think we're just gonna rotate. Let's start somewhere like that. Let's change the color. I'm gonna change it to green, like a lime green. I think that'll look pretty good. All right, so what we want to do is to have our spotlight rotate around. So let's go back to the beginning. So the keyframe on a Y rotate, and then we'll just find a good point and we'll spin it around. There we go. Also, don't forget to set your renderer to hardware. Keep your computer from blowing up sometimes. All right, let's go to that second spotlight. Let's go to the controls. I want to up the angle, up the penumbra angle, and let's adjust that last keyframe. Let's have it in right, just on the end there. All right, let's go to 1 and let's watch the whole thing. Pretty good. I think we can adjust that camera movement just a little bit. Let's go here. Set keyframe on Z and then delete the one before it. There we go. And actually pull it back even more. Oh yeah, I think that'll look really good. All right, now we just need to smooth all our keyframes out. Zoom the fit. Select everything. Let's smooth it out. And let's give it a quick little animation at the end. Yeah. Looks pretty good. All right, let's get rid of our spline. Let's select all of our spotlights, bring them up. Zoom the fit, select everything. Let's give it a nice smooth. Well, let's do the same kind of curve there. See what we got. All right, looks pretty good. We also can smooth out the character level styling. Let's give it the opposite. We're gonna let's add a soft glow. All right, right there, we're gonna turn it all the way down, set a keyframe. Back to the beginning, and we'll just set it back to a 0.2. Looks like we can turn up the threshold a bit, turn down the glow size. Pretty good. We'll smooth out that. S, and we'll give it a sharp drop off, pull it out just a little bit. All right, pretty good. And we're almost done. We'll let it sit on screen just for a minute in about 100 frames. I'm gonna keyframe the alpha on the black background, go to the end, turn it all the way down. We'll smooth that out real quick. We'll just give it a regular S. Then we'll go back to the text plus, go back to the shading tab. We'll go just past that 100 frame mark, put keyframe on the opacity, go to the end and turn it off. And we'll also smooth it out. I think this one will give it a sharp cutoff. So the end will have something like this. There you have it, an epic cinematic title, ready to level up your next video or project. If you enjoyed this video, smash that like button and hit subscribe for more cinematic tips. And don't forget to hit the notification bell if you never want to miss another update. Thanks for watching. Now get out there and create something epic.